Hello, this is the Tradesight U.S. Stocks and Futures Market Preview for Thursday, the 23rd and Friday, the 24th of March, 2017. As usual, we will not have a separate market preview for Friday. It tends to be the end of the week. We wrap up everything we've seen. So unless something special happens Thursday, there'll be no market preview for Friday. We'll cover everything that's due out here. Here's a look at the ES front month futures contract. This is the daily chart of the broad market and futures form. Obviously, we rolled over a bit on Tuesday, and then Wednesday we just sat. Up 4 points on the S&P. Look at the volume, though. Look at the big volume number on that latest day, even though on the futures contract anyways. The stock market volume was down Wednesday versus Tuesday, but futures contract volume was up, so it's kind of interesting. Let's go through the major indices. We'll look at the intra-day action from the last day, and then we'll talk about what's left this week. Here's a look at crude oil. Lost 10 cents to 48.15 on the session. Down just a little bit recently. Gold up 80 cents to 1247.30. S&P gains just 4 points back after losing quite a bit more on Tuesday. NDX was up 35, so it gained back not quite half, but a decent chunk of what it lost the day before. I guess by points it did gain it back. Range was still narrow compared to the prior day, though. SOX up 10. I'd say the interesting part about what happened here on Wednesday is not so much that you bounce back. I mean, you don't usually see a big down day out of the blue and then just recover, but it was so boring again. It was like the whole action was just flat. There was a point where I was looking at the market. It didn't even look like it was ticking. So really disappointing, even though our top stock idea triggered and worked short on FSLR. Just feel like not a lot else happened and there wasn't a lot of potential when I thought you could get another leg here. But we may still see it ahead tomorrow or maybe next week. The biotech's up 20. That's just a small bounce compared to what it lost the day before. The VIX gained 34 cents. Moving up despite the lack of volatility. Trend closed at 1.18, another high reading. The 10-day moving average is now at 1.24. NASDAQ volume, 1.69 billion shares. That's way down from the day before. That's actually lower than one of the days last week, separate from Friday's expiration. Advanced decline ratio on the NASDAQ was negative 400. Advanced decline ratio on the New York was positive 242. Google lost another 34 cents. Remember, we got a 13 sell signal there. Apple gained $1.58, but note the sell signal from 2 days ago there is still very much in play, and the risk line, we're definitely underneath it. So there's Google and Apple both suffering from sell signals. Amazon gained back $4.86, keeping it near highs. Netflix up 23 cents. Tesla gained back $4.33. You got the TLT up 48 cents. Recovered off of the lows nicely here recently. Goldman Sachs down another $1.93 and playing with it. That's an ugly looking chart right there. That's something that's going to end up on the report, even though we're already short it up in the 244 range with options. That's just not a pretty chart if that cracks. And that's going to lead the market lower, by the way. And also, look at the volume. Go back and look at this volume on Goldman Sachs the last 2 days. Biggest volume in a while. 2 days in a row, both red. Not positive. Let's look at some of the other banks. Look at Bank of America. You know, it rebounded a little bit. Now it's still down a couple pennies. Volume's heavy there. JP Morgan, let's take a look. Yeah, you know, so they all held today, but none of them look real good, obviously, or healthy. All right, let's take a look at the intraday action here. So you got futures, 5-minute candles. So again, the big Tuesday was the gap up and then just the complete sell-off over the course of the day. And then Wednesday, very tiny gap down. It took us about 20 minutes to fill it. And then we rolled over. That part was expected. And had we picked up some speed, I think we could have had a nice day. Instead, about an hour and a half in, we bottomed out, and that was the bottom for the day. Made new highs over lunch, drifted back, or made new highs before lunch, drifted back to the middle of the range, and even after that, and then basically closed just a couple points higher. The afternoon was really boring. NASDAQ side, not much better, although it closed a little higher on the range, but still look at it compared to Tuesday. Very flat, cup and handle over the last 5.5 hours of 5 hours of a 6.5 hour day. All right, so what do we have left for economic data this week? On Thursday, we have the weekly initial and continuing jobless claims numbers. Not something that's going to rock the boat. The initial claims numbers, the more important one, is expected at 239,000. New home sales 30 minutes in. Natty gas inventory is the weekly number 30 minutes in. And then on Friday, the only thing we have is durable goods or durable orders an hour before the bell. We have a full week next week, but next Friday is the last day of March, which is the last day of the quarter. So you can really bank on next Friday being slow as they get ready to print the statements. That might even slow down by Thursday. But, you know, other than that, next week's still got a lot of potential if there's any shifting to do here ahead of end of quarter. And with the new options cycle now in place, I'd still like to see Thursday here this week be a little more interesting than what we just had and go from there. I'll be on the road for Thursday and Friday, but trading and in the lab. especially all day Thursday and at least the first half of Friday. Charts, as usual, brought to you by eSignal. If you've not yet taken a trial of our services, feel free to do so. We will help you out for a couple weeks. Have a great trading Thursday and Friday.